You know, it's amazing. We don't realize until it's too late. We go, what happened? When we're in a romantic mood with our wife or with our husband, and all of a sudden, bam. It's like, what did I say? What did I do? And we don't understand. Now, in 2001, I was a divorce mediator, and then I became a marriage helper because honestly, a couple asked me to help them. It's over 25 years ago. And I had to crack the code of marriage because really what we read in articles and stuff and even watch the videos, except for ours, it's not relevant to marriage. And I realized that there's a number one killer of romance, number one killer of marriage. You want to know about this. I'm Paul Friedman, and I created the science of marriage so that you can live your marriage for why you got married in the first place, which is for happiness, for fulfilling love. And we don't get taught what we need to know to have a happy marriage. You know, one day, many, many years ago, of course, I asked my father, do you still love mom? And he said, you get used to people. And you know what? Most people are like that in their marriage after a while. And I thought, oh my God, is that what I have to look forward to? And in my first marriage, I got a divorce. I was not happy. And we went to many marriage counselors, and honestly, they didn't give any advice. They would go, well, how does that make you feel? Or, well, what do you think you should do? And how does she feel? And how do you feel? And does that make you, it didn't work for us. And so I had to reframe why we get married in the first place. And we get married, well, if you ask people, and if I ask you, why did you get married? You'll say you fell in love. And think about what it was like, going back to this topic, when you first met each other and you had this experience of connection. I think God created that. It's a setup, and you found your soulmate, and it made you happy. And it made you want to do things for your husband or your wife that normally you wouldn't even think of doing because you wanted them to be happy. And you experienced joy and happiness just from doing things for them. And then, and this is what I discovered, and I saw it when I was a divorce mediator, but I didn't really catch on until I started working with people. We become used to each other. That was the term my dad used, and it's relevant. We become, and I coined the term for this, over-familiar. Over-familiarity, where we start treating each other with disrespect, no acknowledgement of who they are to us or who they are as a person. And so what happens is when we're in a situation, a romantic situation with our husband or our wife, and out of the blue, some random thought pops into your head, and it's negative. It's critical. Well, criticism is part of over-familiarity. When you were dating or courting, you never would express any criticism. You wouldn't complain. You sealed your lips. And maybe you would bring it up later, but probably not. Because in real life, all of our complaints are these random thoughts that come up because we have no control over our mind. And so I realized, and I go into great depth in this, in our online course for men, or our online course for women, or my book, Lessons for a Happy Marriage, or my book, Breaking the Cycle. I go into a lot of depth about how this is the term, psychophysiology controls us. What do I mean by that? We are souls. Sorry, this is not religious, but it's spiritual, I guess, because we are souls. God created man, women in his own image. We're souls. We have a body. That's not us. That's not us. When you look in the mirror, you're not seeing you, you're seeing your body. Because when you close your eyes, you're still you. But you have a body, and your body has a huge impact on your thinking. You see, and this is what I refer to as the hierarchy of soul, mind, and body. So what happens is your body, because of that innate self-preservation attribute, is telling you, watch out, watch out, watch out, which makes us critical. And it makes us complain about things. It's a filter. But when we become over familiar with our spouse, what happens is we just open up. We open up our mind's thoughts and we get away from our heart's love for them. And it's binary. It's a choice that we're not making because we're not conscious of it. But when you're conscious of it and you realize that you're in a romantic environment with the one you love, your soulmate, last thing you want to do is introduce ideas, because love transcends ideas. So we need to learn how to live in our marriage, and I define it very practically. I define it and I go, look, your marriage is unlike any other relationship, any other venue in your life. I call it the sacred space of marriage. It's a container. And in this container, only two of you have input into this container. You could either put in sweet things like supportive, loving words, compliments, smiles, or you could put in the crap that we collect all day and the annoyances, the complaining, the criticism. But we have control over what's in that container. Don't let over-familiarity destroy that. Well, can't really destroy it. But what it does is it undermines that connection. And when you really think about it, that connection, that sacred connection between the two of you is the most important thing in your life. Well, God first, your spouse second, your family third, and then who cares about the rest? I mean, I know a lot of people are into politics, but who cares? At the end of the day, it doesn't really affect you. What does affect you, what affects you, and what I'm talking about here is your happiness. What affects you is your relationship with your spouse. And that's why I go reimagine your marriage. Instead of fixing this or fixing that, work on reconstructing your marriage in the light of God's love, of your own love for them and their love for you. And stay tuned now, because I'm going to show you some offerings that could be your next step. I'm so glad you stopped by. But before you go, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you want. I'd love to hear about people's marriages. God bless you. I'm Paul Friedman, and take care. Stay tuned for the offerings. Now, if your marriage is doing okay, but you could use a little help, you can just watch these videos. It's free. Or you could read my articles. They're free. Or you could take the next step. Get one of my books. We have two books. One is Lessons for a Happy Marriage, and the other is Breaking the Cycle. And the only difference is one is a little more complicated, because I wrote Breaking the Cycle for when I started to train marriage counselors into our system. Now, if your marriage is really like, oh my God, I don't know how long I could take this, then by all means, don't worry about the money. There's plans that start for less than $10 a week. Get the online course. We have one for women and we have one for men. They're both spectacular. And if both of you, and it's rare, but go to our website. And if your spouse wants to sign up too, they can, but later. First, you find out what it's all about. One thing I promise you is within days or weeks at the most, you will be blown away by the amazing changes that are happening already. God bless you. And please like this video, but more importantly, subscribe so you can get this entire series of the toxins that hit your marriage. I'm Paul Friedman. God bless you and take care.